Would have helped if I would have had this thing running the right way, wouldn't it have? I forgot to unmute myself. So, life is the great indulgence, death the great abstinence. Therefore, make the most of your life, here and now. There is no heaven or glory bright, and no hell where sinners roast. Here and now is our day of torment. Here and now is our day of joy. Here and now is our opportunity. Anton Szandor LaVey in the Satanic Bible. We'll be back in just a second. I'm going to bring the other chat in. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day.
That he's God, that he's the son of God or something like.
One second while I get this fixed. Alrighty then. So tonight, we're going to explore life and its opposite. Before I start taking anybody in as guests, um, welcome to Midnight in Grumps Grotto. Tonight's topic arose because I've reached the point in life where many of my friends and loved ones are dealing with grief and loss. As Satanists, we view life as the great indulgence. We embrace and choose to experience it to the fullest we possibly can. We don't deny our carnal desires. We embrace them and encourage those we know to do the same. We all have one life to live, so why not enjoy it? Others seem to see what we do as giving into our sins, as described by their narrow view that humans are useless beings and have no purpose without something beyond them in this world in our lives. Each person comes into existence at birth and disappears at death. The period in between is the sum total of existence. We do not have to ensure our place in an afterlife. We realize that everyone will experience death at some point. We lose loved ones, friends, people we care about, and public figures we look up to. This is just how life works. Do we mourn their loss? Yes. However, we also celebrate their lives and focus on their achievements along with the positive influence they had on us. This is their afterlife, how they impacted others. We also are aware that, for most of us, our only gift to the future generations will be our names in family genealogies. We are not nihilists in the way of thinking life is pointless. We see life is important and really don't want to leave the party too early. Life is what you make of it. Life is totally something that you should embrace. Learning this is the hardest thing. And worrying about an afterlife and whether you're going to obtain it is just nonsense, in my opinion. How do we deal when somebody passes on? We grieve, we celebrate them, and we remember them for as long as we possibly can. If it's something was important enough to us, we pass it on to others, and we hope that this will be something that is remembered about this person. With that being said, I'll open up the box to anyone who would like to come in. And let's talk about the great indulgence and the great abstinence. Come on in if you feel like it. Tonight we're talking about life, the great indulgence, and death, the great abstinence. I will not be answering any other questions on that type of thing that are not dealing with that. If you want to ask about Satanism, the Ask Satanist Live is every Saturday night at midnight. Central Time. But I don't know about you, but I personally want to embrace life. I want to know what life has to offer. Hey, what's up, Dread?
Oh, what's going on, Satan?
Not too much.
Oh, Grumpy Satan. Yeah, you were in my live the other night, I believe.
Yeah, and just I've noticed a lot of people, especially we've had a loss of a major person in the world, that people are dealing with death a lot lately. And it's just like, yeah, but we should embrace life.
Yeah, I like that. Before I say anything or ask anything, the topic, I guess, my first question would be this. So when you're saying the great indulgence and the great abstinence, are those just terms to be taken on face value, or is that like an actual well-known concept that's a little bit deeper? You know what I mean?
Well, it's the concept that life is the great indulgence, and its opposite would be the great abstinence. Um, so we should embrace things and indulge in it. And basically, is what I'm saying there, and that's
Yeah.
how I read it.
So you're just saying that I'm not missing anything as far as like some theory or anything that's being studied by a bunch of people or anything like that. It's just
No.
that. Okay.
It's just one of the quotes from the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey.
Okay. See, I thought there was something a little bit more to it. Okay. Right on. Well, on face value and as you're describing it, which you just pretty much read me the whole thing from the Satanic Bible, you said yes, and I would say I would agree. I don't have anything to debate or anything like that, but I mean, we could get into that topic because I think that as an idea is healthy. I don't think that religious people think about it like that because, they are trying to stay off religion a little bit, but they do put stock in what happens after life, which means they put a little bit less stock in what happens in this life, at least not in the same way you would if you don't believe in an afterlife necessarily. So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So right there, again, I'm trying to stay off religion, so I'm kind of stirring over my words.
Well,
But I mean,
you can go ahead and bring up religion. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's all discussion, man.
yeah, because that has a lot to do with the death topic. But at the end of the day, I mean, I've been in your lives, you've been in my lives. You and I can at least agree that we don't exactly have a burden of proof of anything happening after death, so we put more stock in life. So, with that opinion, thinking that way, and I think whether you believe in an afterlife or not, you should definitely you should be a humanist. You should do whatever is the least amount of harm. And maybe on top of that, do a little bit of good for yourself and for other people as well. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. It's kind of forces you to try and live a little less selfishly. If you have any empathy for other human beings, then you would know that this lifetime is all that we know that we have, and you should try and be more of a compassionate person. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. I know I've struggled with that in the past. Everybody's got a past, but it took me a long time to get to where I'm at and have a genuine concern, not just for myself, but for other people. Which is kind of the reason I talk about this stuff on here too. So, but yeah, I mean, you got to kind of unfuck yourself a little bit. You really got to look at yourself and ask, what am I going to do in this life that's going to create a quality of it for myself and for other people? And I guess I'm just trying to simplify it, be a nice person,
Well,
be a nice person.
I agree with that to some extent, but I only be nice to people who deserve it.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I'll come in any situation with at least compassion. You know what I'm saying? I really try to understand people as much as I can, even if they have a different viewpoint than me, and just try and communicate a little bit more, because I don't want to be that which I talk is, and I guess, who just forces my views down somebody else's throat.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not trying to force my views down anybody's throat. People are coming in here because they want to, so. And they obviously want to hear what I have to say. That's one of the things people go, well, doesn't one of your rules of the earth say don't offer your opinions unless asked? Well, by somebody coming in here, they're asking my opinion. And I'm going to get rid of this background because it's annoying.
It's a little hard to read your topic.
Let's see. I could shift over to the other one.
I like how it does say abstinence, and it uses that word because that means that you are not experiencing life, not really assuming anything after that. Again, putting pressure to indulge in this life, right?
Yeah, and life is to be enjoyed. It's not to be afraid of what you're doing might be wrong. But that's my opinion.
Well, that would be my opinion too. Pretty much.
Well, let's see. First of all, you have to have 1,000 followers before you can join the conversation on the screen. Unfortunately, TikTok makes the rules. I don't. Just wish that it would allow you to say, hey, this person wants to talk. I'm going to bring them up whether they have 1,000 followers or not, just because they might have something interesting to say. But, yeah, I was just thinking with the Queen's passing that this might be something people would be thinking about. too. Just because that queen actually, yeah, she's queen of the Commonwealth, but she still influences the entire world.
Right.
Or did. Now we have to put up with King Charles III.
King Charles. Yeah, I don't know. I
I
think that
didn't
you're
know what
lying.
to think of him.
You don't think about death every day. I mean, honestly, I don't know about other people. You might not even be conscious of it most days, but I mean, it influences a lot of our decisions, obviously. Otherwise, we'd all literally live like we're not going to die. I mean, some people are more concerned with it than others. Some people have like anxieties about it, death anxieties. I know I've struggled with that as well, and that can eat up a big part of your life, whether you're religious or not. But you know, you add
Yeah.
religion on top of that, and like you're kind of saying here, indulging in life, you really are giving up a lot of potential life, a lot of experiences and things like that. You know.
Science fiction author, and I call him a philosopher because a lot of things he says is kind of cool. He once wrote, let's see, yield to temptation, for it may not pass your way again. Robert A. Heinlein.
I like that.
Really good way of putting it. And it really is very satanic thought too, because we're all about embracing our human selves. So, and when you try to deny your things that people call sins just because they feel good, it's really denying yourself one of the pleasures in life. And you've only got one life to live. Let's just enjoy it while we can.
Right. Temptation.
I know I keep on repeating myself.
No, I mean it's a pretty straightforward topic, but I mean from certain viewpoints, maybe not so much so, you know. So anybody listening, we can kind of help them to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But temptation doesn't describe necessarily anything bad. I mean, I could be tempted to go help somebody as well. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, into those good experiences too. Don't pass those up.
Or you could be tempted to eat that entire bag of pork rinds.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did that.
Yeah, I hear you. Brandon living for Christ. Let's see if, I mean, honestly, I think the only people that would disagree with this would be religious people. You know what I mean? The only ones that are going to view it in some sort of debatable way, you know. Oh, it's God or whatever.
Let's see. How can we be motivated to sacrifice pleasure for sake of the world that lives on after we die? Exactly. I mean, that makes sense. You embrace divinity. Well, if that makes your life better, go ahead. But for me, I am my own divine. That's probably gonna really twerk some people.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say I'm my own boss. I wouldn't say I'm my own divinity or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, as far as sacrificing stuff, experiences for a world that lives on after you die, I mean, a lot of us are going to have family and friends and people we care about that we might be leaving behind if we're older, maybe grandchildren and things like that. I mean, it does matter. And look at the state of the world now by people who came before us not giving a shit about the state of the world before they died. So, I mean, if you have empathy, I guess you wouldn't want to do that to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, I've never looked at, well, I'm trying to figure out how I wanted to put this. I've really started to embrace the fact that the only thing that's going to matter when I'm gone is what I've left for my children, what I'm going to be doing for my children. Otherwise, it doesn't make a difference what I do because I don't have that big impact on the world.
Right.
And within 2 or 3 generations, I'll just be a name on a family tree. Nobody will know who I was, what my personality was.
Right, right. But you could leave something significant behind. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something small. Let's say that you just leave behind a little bit of money for your kid or whatever. Okay, well that's something.
Hmm.
And via the butterfly effect, that could actually have consequences later on. So I mean, even little things like that, or maybe you'll start a freaking business and that'll live on through generations and generations. And because you started that business, your great grandson now has a better life, and you never even knew him. You know, I mean, it does matter a little bit. I think if you never do anything with your life, then at least maybe indulge in it a little bit. You know, even if not for other people. Just I would argue, don't hurt other people.
Well, don't hurt other people unnecessarily, is my philosophy.
Necessarily.
But that's, you know, I didn't think this would get much. I probably should have kept running the last live that was doing pretty good, but it was starting to get a little bit draggy.
Yeah.
And I promised somebody I would talk about this tonight, and they haven't shown up, but they're probably busy. It's time of day is it there? It's not quite 4 p.m. where they're at, so
All right. Huh? Yeah, the religious
other
topics
side of
tend to
the
be a little more clickbaity, I guess.
yeah. But I just wanted to share this with everybody that I possibly could. It's just something that been thinking about a lot lately. I've also been thinking about. I lost my father when I was 13, and been thinking about him a lot. So I was like, he really did enjoy life. So I should follow that idea too.
Right, right.
So why not spend all that on trips and stuff for yourself? Well, you could if you want to, um, but part of having a fulfilled and enjoyable life is to be able to make sure you leave at least a little bit something behind for any kids you might have had or any organization you might support if you don't have children.
Yeah, I mean, there's that old saying, one of the best gifts to get is to give, right? I mean, there's something to be said for being selfless and maybe living somewhat of a life of service for others. Maybe some people are very, very bitter and they don't want to do that. That's absolutely fine. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
but I know that part of the reason that my businesses are successful is because I put a true care into my customers. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that they are happy with what they're getting, because I'm helping their businesses out as well. I'm helping out their lifestyles too. If it was just selfish and I was only in it for the money, I feel like that would probably show a little bit, whether I wanted it to or not. And that would
Mhm.
deter people from coming towards me too, because you can smell it on somebody, when they're selfish, and you can tell when somebody's a selfless person too. And I think that uh, personality type, people want to be around that. People want to engage with that and have that in their lives. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could spend it on yourself if you wanted to, but that'll be my argument on the other side of it. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
a human. That's just me trying to live my life like that because I did spend so long kind of being a selfish prick, an asshole, and it didn't get me too far. People didn't like me. It gets a little lonely. That's just the nature of how we are socially. So we don't like assholes.
Yeah.
Not to say that taking a
But
trip makes you an asshole, but only living for yourself, I would say you might get a little lonely. It doesn't matter how much money you got.
yeah. And when we say that we live for ourselves first as Satanists, we're not meaning that we totally ignore everybody else. We just try to make sure we're at a point where we can do things for others. At least I do. Not all Satanists are this way. I can't speak for them. This is for myself.
Yeah, not all people are that
Big
way.
Betty. What's up, Deirdre? Thanks for coming in.
Deidre's bad. Yay. What's going on?
Sorry,
What
I
is
had ended the last one, but it was starting to get grinding.
that tends to happen a little bit.
especially when you're talking to somebody who doesn't want to think outside the box.
Trust me, I know. I was gonna run one tonight, but I'm honestly burnt out, man. I was on my 7th day of doing it, so I'm just like, yeah. Tonight, man. I'm good.
Well, I've been doing these a little bit more often than I used to, so it's getting to be good. Ooh, at least the numbers are matching up on how many people are watching. Earlier, it said only 60 people were watching on the app, but on the web it said 160 were watching. So I couldn't figure out which was right. I think that number is never correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an update thing with whatever server you're getting your information from. I don't know. It's a busy app. A lot of information goes in and out of TikTok, you know.
Well, it's the other platform is a lot more active than this one, and they still can handle it.
What platform? Oh,
But-
Facebook? Yeah.
No, YouTube.
Yeah. No, you're right. I wish they never got rid of the dislikes. That made me mad.
Well, they needed to have the dislike button stay on there so you could at least say you didn't like something so the creator would know.
Right, right.
Avoid that topic in the future, but it seems like some people, if they didn't have it affect the algorithm, just have it as a notification for the creator. And we're going to have Deirdre join us.
Hey, guys.
Yo.
I add some female up in here. So I think I'm going to do a live in a couple days, but not like I'm not doing the God thing. I'm just going to do it on educating people with animal welfare and stuff like that. Ask a vet tech. But I wanted to wait so I have scarves for my head, but I got like this really nice wig and I got it styled. I'm gonna wait for that because I don't want to go on there and people saying things like, "Oh, she's sick or whatever because she turned away from God." Like I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm waiting.
Yeah, they do tend to be a little ruthless with
And
that
I'm
on
also
here.
sensitive and I'm vain, so I don't want people saying things. So I wait till I look good.
Oh, welcome back, little patty cake.
A little patty cake.
Hello, everybody.
That's a fun name.
I hope everyone is as happy as I am, and I hope you guys are doing great. And I'm so happy to be able to just join this live.
Yeah. And what I'm
Good to be
discussing
here.
right now is life is the great indulgence and death is the great abstinence. So we should enjoy life to the fullest for as long as we possibly can to avoid the opposite.
Yes.
So, if you have any thoughts
Okay.
on that?
So, what does abstinence mean to everybody? What is
It
abstinence?
means that you won't have life when you die.
You're not doing the thing. Indulging in something is where you're enjoying it, whereas abstinence is you're avoiding it. But it's kind of a play on words, I think.
I think it's interesting. I think I was abstinent in 2020 actually, so 2 years ago, where I decided to cut off, sex. I don't know if I can say that, but
I've been abstinent for 2 years.
I cut off every bad habit, and honestly, I was able to get through everything, and I was clear-minded once I started doing that. I'm still drinking till now, but I did cut it off for a while. So abstinence is just cutting off the bad habits. But what does it do for you when you do engage in abstinence?
The thing is, though, is I don't engage in abstinence because I believe in embracing life to the fullest. So indulge, but not compulsory indulgence. More like
So what did you do today that you indulged in your fullest?
I slept.
Yeah. Did it feel
I
so good,
But
Grumpy?
I just
we all
slept.
have one life to live, so why not enjoy it? Instead of
Mhm.
avoiding those things that people consider sinful, I yield to my temptations.
What did you do, Dreddy?
I refused to do any work. I went and got Taco John's instead of eating healthy food, and
What's
I went
Chocolate
shopping.
John's?
Yep.
What's
Taco
that?
John? You don't know
What's
what Taco
Taco
John's is?
John's? It's
It's
No.
like
like
better Taco
it's
Bell.
like Taco Bell, only it's better.
Like Del
Yeah,
Taco?
No,
kind of.
yeah, kind of.
Or like Baja Fresh?
It's
No,
It's
not
cheap
like
Mexican food, but it's not as cheap as Taco Bell.
yeah. I mean, it's not like Baja Fresh. Baja Fresh is a lot better.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love
Got
Baja
this little
Fresh.
tater tot
El
called
Baja
potato
Fresh.
Olay. My bad, and they're delicious. Yeah, and yeah, if you ever are in a state with Taco John's, get the potato Olays, all right, with the cheese sauce, and indulge a little bit.
What if I
Try
don't
it.
eat meat?
It's potatoes. You can just eat the potato part.
Okay. I'll be like, I want some potato and tortilla with cheese.
You can
But I
do
don't
that.
eat cheese.
Yeah, and they've
Little
got
Patty, what did you do today? What was your
Not
indulgence
much.
today?
I honestly appreciated every part of my day actually. So I try to be positive in every aspect that I can be. I did house chores, I did my laundry, I took out the trash. It's trash day for me. Um, Cleaned out around the house and you know, played some music and just had a good time doing it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
about
Huh.
it. Yeah. That's about
How
it.
about
So
yourself,
nothing
Deirdre?
special.
Um, well, I tried to clean the house and then I had a seizure. And then I laid down for a while and I took a nap and then I got up and I made a smoothie. And then I got on TikTok. So lame.
TikTok always gets
Oh,
ya, huh?
Okay, can I start over? But
and
this time I just lie.
okay. So if anybody's curious to what the person just said in the chat, it's smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Smoke on the water burns it. We end up in a big hotel, empty, cold bear.
Oh,
Whatever the heck that
okay.
has to do with anything.
That was trend.
Oh, and I had a chocolate. That was my great indulgence.
Like
Oh,
chocolate and
chocolate.
smoothie in one day. You better calm down, girl. Calm down, girl.
No, I had a health smoothie. It was like really healthy smoothie. It wasn't like it was like kale and carrots and beets and a supplement and vanilla almond milk. It wasn't like
Wow.
a indulging. But I had so they have this
Nice.
chocolate. It's like dark chocolate with the caramel and then the sea salt on top, and it was so good.
The weird thing about me is now that I'm sort of going, I used to love the sweets so much. I loved candy and everything. Now I'm growing out of it. I hate it. I hate sweet things.
I like
I'm
the
more like
good
a
dark
sour
chocolate.
and spicy person
Yeah, I like the good dark
now.
chocolate or like the expensive stuff,
Okay.
I guess. But
Ooh,
like Kit
yeah.
Kats and Hershey bars are disgusting.
Kit Kats? What?
Yeah, they're
Really?
disgusting. Yeah, they're just
That's what
sugar.
I
They
would
don't
go
even
for.
taste like chocolate. It's just like gooey sugar.
No, she got a point there. They really
Okay,
don't
so
taste
I
like
don't mean to like turn down the mood, but is everybody ready to start on like a serious topic or no?
Well,
What's
this
not
is a
serious
serious
about Kit
topic.
Kat?
It's what's not
Sorry?
serious about indulging in life?
Well, okay, so there, I don't think I said it earlier, but someone recently asked me, are you dying to live or living to die? And that stuck out to me a lot, and I've been thinking about it. How does everybody
Mhm.
feel about that? Are you living to die or dying to live?
That's excellent. That's kind of what
It's deep, right?
the original question was. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Are you dying to live? Or are you living to die?
Yeah.
And
Living
that
to
argument
die.
too. Yeah, don't live just to die because we're all
Yes.
gonna
Yeah.
have death. You got to be dying to live. You got to be willing to put it
Yeah.
all on the
Yeah.
line for these experiences that we're gonna have now, even down to this little TikTok thing right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm glad that I'm talking to y'all. I mean, because without that, my night would be a little less fruitful. It would be a little less enjoyable. I wouldn't be having conversation with anybody. It would just probably be me and my cat. You know what I mean? So I mean, even right now, I'm
Your
trying to
cat is
indulge in this
cute.
little thing as much as possible. Yeah, I like my cat.
I like
Mhm. I'm
indulging.
definitely
Like
dying to
the
live.
TikTok helps me a lot. Like I live a really lonely life right now. You guys are my
That's okay.
friends.
Oh yeah, I
You're
want to
my
be
friend
friends
too.
too.
Yeah, you're my
Hope we
friend too,
can
little
follow
patty
me.
cake. I'll follow
You're
you.
all my
Boom.
friends.
We're
Okay. Yeah,
friends.
of course. And I'm gonna follow you right back. But for me, as soon as I got that question, honestly, I thought about it and I've been thinking about it so much. And I think we gotta live to die. Dying, what do we even know about dying, right? So you
Yeah,
cannot
but
die to live because that's just gonna stress you out to make a living out of
no,
something. Whereas you can
actually, it
live
doesn't.
and you're just gonna die. I mean, we all have a death sentence, though, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we
Well,
do.
dying to live,
So
in my opinion, it's
living
like the
to
old.
die, it's just living your life up until you're, when your time is up. So you make the
The whole
best
thing
out of it.
is. The whole thing is, though, is that I look at dying to live as the old joke about, you know, why are cemeteries so full? Because people are just dying to get in there. Well, I'm dying to stay in life. I just want to stay in life. I don't want to die.
But you're not going to be here forever. So when you think about that question, and I really thought about it, I analyzed everything. Dying to live is honestly stressing yourself out to just make a living, right? Living
really.
to die is knowing that you're going to die anyway, but you're living at least.
I think that there's
Well,
a
That's the
communication thing between you
difference.
guys,
And I think you
Patty
just
and
need to be
Jesus.
happy and just be your person and live your life to the best until your date comes. And you don't even know when it's going to happen. So who cares?
I think you guys are
You
really
know?
saying the same thing, though. To be honest, so Patty, you're saying dying to live the same way that Jesus is saying living to die. I think you guys are just interpreting each one as the latter. Does that make sense?
No.
What I'm
Well,
saying is you're saying
we're
different
each
things, but you mean
viewing.
the same thing.
We're each
Put more
viewing
emphasis
it
on
the
living life.
same. We're saying, yeah, we're saying the same thing, but we're doing it in a different way. I want to indulge in everything.
Me too.
And that to me is,
And that's
I'm
what is
looking at,
living.
yeah, but living to die is what I see people who want to move on to the next life doing.
That's what I see dying to live meaning.
But
But
it's
we're
one
Yeah,
of
I
those.
think when
that's
you're
the
dying
important thing.
to live, just stresses you out because you're dying to live in the present moment. You're not there. But when you're living, you're live. You're alive.
So this
And
is like this is
you just
Saying the
gotta be
exact.
in the moment.
We're
this is
saying the
how
exact same
It's just
thing. We're just viewing the words differently.
this is how girls view things versus how boys view things.
no.
No, it has
Okay, so
nothing
you
to do
guys are
with that.
saying dying to live as in physically hurting your body, physically dying in order to get by. We
No,
are
well,
saying
I look
dying
at it
to live.
as because we're dying because we're not living our life to the fullest because we're hoping because we think that we're going to have an afterlife. That's how I look at it. And when we're living to die, we leave each day because we know that that's it.
You see, that's the problem with using those two words together. Is that the each person can interpret it differently.
No,
It's
but
like saying
you think better when
I give
you
my
are
right
in the
arm.
present
I give
moment.
Yeah, but I give my right arm or right
you're
leg
living for
in order to
today.
not have to do anything that I don't want to do. But I always have to do things I don't want to do, like go to work. Who wants to go to work?
I mean,
I
who
don't.
does?
I
Right?
love going to
Everybody's
work.
gonna agree with you, but that's not what we're talking about here, right? And so when
Semantics
we
is what it
say
boils down to.
dying to live, you're just doing everything to survive. That's it. That's it. But then
Nah.
living is being in the present moment. You're living for today. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Nobody knows. But you're living for today.
All right. I'll concede to your
Right?
interpretation of the question, but
You
I'll
just gotta
stick to
agree
my
with girls,
thoughts.
Grumpy, don't you know? When it comes down to
No.
it, just agree with girls.
No, I don't have to agree with anybody. I'm just going to say I'll concede that I understand what you're saying, and that I'm still going to stick to my guns.
We're all
That's
we're all
okay.
saying the same thing. We really are. We
I
all
want to live
share
for
the
today.
same. We're just saying it differently, is what me and Grumpy are trying to say. Is the way that you're describing dying to live is how we're describing living to die. Just different meanings of live and different meanings of die.
Yeah,
I
let's
know
just
that's
move on.
complicated,
Yeah.
but I'm good.
Of course. I think
Yeah.
I'm on the
We
same
already-
page with Grumpy. There's a reason why I like him and why I joined his life. So I think we're on the same page. Maybe I worded it differently, but
We are. We all are.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
It's
you
one of
guys
those
get me, though.
phrases that, you know, semantics is really fun to play with. And whoever's thumping the screen, thank you.
It's me. I'm putting hearts on your eyeglass. I'm having fun. I'm putting hearts on your glasses.
Oh, I always tell people, don't forget to boop the snoot.
I'm just playing a game with your glasses and hearts.
So, but you know, I'm going to go down a little bit serious here. So when you lose somebody, how do you deal with it?
Okay, so I waited 5 whole seconds. I'm gonna get in on this because I've been through some loss in the past 2 years. All right. So I think that when you lose somebody, whether it's through death or them leaving your life, you tend to experience grief in a lot of the same ways, because the similarity is they are no longer in your life. You no longer have those interactions with them and whatever they brought to your life. So for me, I've been through a pretty tremendous breakup, as well as losing some family members who did pass away, and I'm in the process of losing a family member mentally who has dementia, right? So my grandma is no longer remembering who I am or our family. So how I kind of deal with them all, and I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm not going to get into that, but one thing that I've been taught is all the things that seem like they hurt to do without that person, because you're so used to doing them with that person, having those experiences, spending time. Kind of like quitting smoking, you just have to learn to do them without avoiding them. You will it's like, don't think elephant. If you're avoiding them, you're thinking about them, right? You're thinking about what it was like with that person. So I choose to do them anyway. I'm still going to go out to eat. I'm still going to go to the movies. I'm still going to spend time with the rest of the family. I'm still going to do those things that maybe we would have enjoyed anyway, so that I can start to heal and appreciate the times that I had them, but also not just completely cut that out of my life. Learn to essentially move on without it, and indulge with life anyway. If any of that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Does anybody else have thoughts about it before I pipe in?
Yeah, I'm autistic. I don't really want to answer that because I'm going to seem like a horrible person.
No, that's fine.
I just view things different, and that's the one thing with autism. It's really hard to explain, but when someone's gone, I know they're gone. I'm like, I'll be sad about it, but I don't know. It's just there's nothing I can do about it. They're just gone. I guess it seems like I lack empathy. I really don't. I don't know how to describe that. It's just a fuck up way my mind thinks. I've been called out on that, and people think that I'm messed up, but It's just how my brain thinks. Like I care, but there's nothing I can do, and they no longer exist. Like they're not here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how I view it, I guess. I sound bad. It sounds bad.
No, it doesn't sound bad. It's the way you deal with it. That's good.
Yeah.
Patty, do you
Yes,
have
Honestly,
Acid. I've
don't feel
lost.
bad. And then you gotta stop saying that, because it took me a long, and sometimes people tell me, and I know I have a big heart, but sometimes like people tell me that I'm insensitive and I'm careless or whatever it is. Don't feel like that. By expressing your feelings, no. You should be able to think the way that you do. You know? That's you. That's what
Yeah.
makes you you. So don't be sorry about that.
Unfortunately, I live in a
Don't.
society that tells me that the way I think is wrong. I'm trying
We
not to
all
think
do,
like that.
right?
Yeah.
We all do. So you got to
But
be strong, and you're able to speak about it. So you know it's wrong that they are telling you that. So just believe in that.
yeah,
I
to
don't think there's
answer
anything
Anna's
wrong.
questions, I've lost a lot of people in my life, and yeah, just I don't know. It's just how I deal with it. And I'm also
No,
in the same aspect when I decide someone isn't, like when I break up with somebody or I don't want no longer want somebody in that life, I'm really good at just going like once I make that decision, it's like they're burnt and they're gone, and I have no like I don't have any issues. Like if I break up with somebody because they're no longer needing my life, like I'll tell them that, and I never talk to them or like give it a second thought, and that's just how my brain works.
that doesn't seem wrong at all. That seems very strong because that's the end result that a lot of us have trouble getting to. You know, if you're in a
Yeah.
breakup, I mean, a lot of us tend to mourn the loss of the relationship. And when you're describing losing, when you were just describing losing family, you were describing kind of the other side of that where you're allowing yourself to feel that grief. There's nothing wrong about that. I mean, I'm not sure what you're getting at, why you would think that, but no, I mean, that seems very normal, you know, and if anybody's telling you otherwise,
Yeah,
then they're just
I get people because I don't people like my response to things people think I lack empathy because I don't demonstrate empathy and what is considered to be in a normal social construct, but I always feel like that shit is fake. When you like, when you meet someone and you're like, "Oh my God, I love you," and you give them hugs. Why do people do that? I don't fucking love them, and I don't really want to hug them like that. And that's how I like view it things. Like it's just fake. It's just like people want me to be fake and to do things because it makes them feel socially comfortable, I guess. And that's just not who I am. I'm not fake, and I can't. Like even if I try, I can't do it. And if I don't say what I'm thinking in my head, you can see it on my face. That's just how I am.
Yeah, I think one thing that comes with autism is people who have that trait tend to take things much more literally, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
understand a lot of things, and you'll have me like you'll notice some weird shit about me. Like if you get to know me in the lives, like I'll start even I've noticed like it's fucked up and I can't stop myself, but I've noticed like since I've started doing more lives, I start doing the masking thing. So I start talking in a certain way that people are more likely to listen to me and understand. It's like bizarre that I even do that, but it's just like part of autism. And then sometimes I just don't understand things. Like somebody will say something and I have no idea because it's such a like gray area. I don't usually ever debate like politics or anything like that. I have a really fucking hard time understanding that shit. Like if it's not this way or that way, I don't understand why people are debating it. You either agree. I don't get that shit. I just don't. I can't.
No, I think
Patty,
I
do you have
understand
any
what you're describing a little
coping?
bit. Like, you know, if two friends walk up to each other and they're very ecstatic and they're like, "Oh, I love you so much," you know, that's a little bit different than actually having a long history with somebody and different experiences that has caused
Yeah,
you to
it's
have an actual
bizarre. Or
feelings
like
for
if you
them. You know
see
what I'm
someone
saying?
that you hardly know in the
But
grocery store and you're like, "Oh my God, it's so good to see you," and you give them a hug. Those people are fucking lying. I don't give a shit. I've met you 3 times. Why am I gonna be in the grocery store being like, oh my God, I'm so happy. And let's put our body, hugging is very bizarre to me, by the way. Like hugging strangers. Like I like hug people like boyfriends and stuff and my kids, but putting your body against somebody that you're not intimate with, that's like bizarre. Like, why do we have this ritual where we're just like, oh my God, hi, I'm Deirdre. Let's put our bodies together. It's weird.
No idea.
No, I think I understand where you're coming from since you said that you have autism and the whole literal thing, you know. I mean, yeah, I mean, you don't really subscribe to a lot of the whole social constructy type things.
Yeah. And girls, especially girls are like, oh my, girls, you know what? I'm just going to call girls out on this. And I'm not saying you are, little Patty, but girls, like, and when it comes to like social norms and stuff, they're like, they can be really, it's a bizarre. Like, why do they pretend? Why do they do that? Girls, especially, they're like, oh my girl, God, girl, I love you so much. I'm so happy to see you. And then they'll like walk away and they'll be like, oh, I can't stand her. Why do they do that? Why do you want to touch somebody you can't stand? Why are you hugging them if you can't stand them?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to bring this back around.
Sorry.
It's been a wonderful. No, it's a great conversation. It really
Sorry,
is.
Grumpy.
But as far as how I cope when I lose somebody, I'm a writer, a bit. I haven't had anything published or anything except for blogs and stuff. But I usually sit down and I write down everything I can possibly remember, the good and the bad about somebody when I lose them. That way I've got something that, I can look back on going, what did Dale do for me? Why do I remember Dale? And then I have something I can reference. And yes, I mourn their loss. I deal with the grief. But in the end, I want to celebrate them for who they were. But that's just my view on it. Did you have a view on that, Patty?
Patty. She may have stepped away for a minute.
That's all right.
That's beautiful, man. You actually go and you blog this stuff. That's interesting.
Well, it's not actually putting it out there. I just put it down in my journal. No, we lost him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though,
Might have
man. That's actually good. Is that for because throughout time, like maybe the memory might fade or something, and you want to remember it as it was?
Yeah.
Type of deal. Nice.
And it's just, there's a lot of times where I can't remember things about my father that passed when I was real young. And the only thing I can think of is if I want to really trigger some memories, I've still got some audio tapes of his voice that I need to digitize so that it'll trigger memories. But when I go out and I'm having problems with things and I start thinking hard about it, meditating on it, a lot of times I'll hear his voice in the back of my head, and it's not him talking to me from outside. It's my own subconsciousness going, this is what your dad would have told you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have that a lot with my aunt who passed away last year. Yesterday was actually a year anniversary of her death. And she had a big impact on me. When I was in the foster care system, she actually got me out of that by taking over and becoming my legal foster mom for a number of years, instead of me having to live in group homes and things. So, I mean, I go through that too. Same thing with other people that I've lost. I had a sister that I lost too, and they were both very influential to me growing up and getting out of just being a shitty character. We're not going to get into that. And yeah, I mean, I thought that a lot too. Everybody's got a past, man. I don't want to make it about me and start giving a whole testimony. But yeah, I mean, they helped me grow as a person and stuff. And I think about that too, man. Like, what would this person think about this right now? What would they think about what I just did or said to that person? So that's good, man. That's healthy, yeah. And that's beautiful that you write it down. I never would have thought about that.
Yeah. Welcome back, Patty.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you guys heard me. I think my connection was really off for a second, so I was
Yeah.
breaking up.
Right.
And
So
I heard you saying, "Oh, Patty, Patty," and I was
yeah.
saying hello, so I just decided to reconnect again. I'm
Okay.
sorry, everybody.
That's all right. So I was asking if you had any thing to share that helps you cope when you lose somebody.
Yeah, so I heard what she said. For me, to be honest with you, because I'm young, I think I have never really, well, I've never lost a family member, to be honest with you. So I can't really correlate there. But with breakups, I think, yeah, I can't really speak on it. I think that's my fault because I fail to sort of open my heart up to people. I just don't do it. I know where I'm gonna be hurt, and I stay away from it. I just stay away from it. But I think that does not. Okay. So here's one thing I can talk about. I mean, I cannot cope with losing somebody because I never had to deal with it. But I think I protect myself from it, and it does block my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, like I think it does not help me. As in, I fail to like fully be myself with like relationships, and I don't feel anything when I do break up because I know I'm doing that because I don't want to go through it.
I think what you're describing is kind of
Does
like
that
a
make sense
detachment
a
thing.
little bit?
Yeah, like you don't want to get hurt, so before the person leaves or is lost, you sort of detach internally first, right?
Yeah, and then also anything that like anything I know, I just believe that like relationships don't work out because I've seen it happen. I just cannot open myself to doing that.
I definitely have a
And
different view
I
on
feel like
relationships
detached.
lately.
That's something I need to work on, but I just feel detached, so I've never been hurt because I've done that.
I feel like we, especially as women, I think Patty can understand this one too, as a like, it's weird. Like society, like seems to value us by like who we're with, and so just the way that I was raised, and like what people say to me, like it's almost like it's weird that I don't have a boyfriend or like a husband, that I felt like it was like something that I had to do, and then I realized that I don't have to do that, and like I guess I found peace and happiness like knowing that like that doesn't like I don't need that, I guess.
Okay, so society always has something to say, and my ex, who I have a problem with right now, I mean, as soon as I give you the details, I know you guys are gonna judge. Will you or
I'm not
will you
going to
not?
judge you.
How old do you think he is? I'm 24. How old do you think he is? He's older.
I'm not going to judge you because I've always been with guys that are like 12 and 13 years
He's
older than me.
40.
Yeah,
He's
I've been in
40
the same
going on to
boat.
41.
Yeah, I've been in the same
That's
boat.
a huge gap. And everyone goes, why? What? Like, But I tend to gravitate towards older people, but nobody really, really asks why. It's just they're judging. They're judging
I
already,
feel like
right?
24 years old that you're old enough and like mature enough to like that it shouldn't be an issue even if he is 40.
I
It's
promise
different if you're
you.
like 16 or 17 and he's
Yeah.
40. I think the concern would lay within him and why he's doing that. But I think at 24 years old, you're kind of at the age where I don't think that you're have anything bad happening to you.
No, but then so I love older people and I associate myself with older people more, whether it's friends or I'm dating them or anything like that. Why? Because not many people my age think the way that I do. And not anybody can have a conversation like we are having, you know?
Yeah.
So I love that. And I think that gives me room to do that. And I want to associate myself with somebody that can do that same thing.
As a man, I just want to tell you that no, I'm not going to inherently judge you for that, because one thing I've learned about girls is they tend to have conversations with their friends about whether or not a male even has furniture in his apartment. You know, I mean, there's a lot of dudes out here that are not very well put together, just like anybody else. And I think that, you know, maybe that's one way of avoiding that. I think maybe males think that way too. Some males might want to date an older woman. I mean, I'm kind of talking to one right now too. But on the flip side, yeah, I mean, that's one way to avoid that. You don't want to
But
deal
to
with
be honest, nobody wants
man
to be
baby, right?
honest.
You know what?
um,
I agree
I
with
think
what
that's the
Dreddy's
problem.
saying.
Nobody wants to be clear.
Yeah. So
I
I
think
agree
that's
with
where the
what
problem
Dreddy's
started.
saying. Because I had my son young. I was like a teen mom and stuff. And like pretty young. And so I'm obviously like when I was seeking relationships or in relationships, I'm not going to be with somebody my age. I have to be with somebody that has their shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And usually people judge me when they hear stuff like that. Like, I like older men, but it's only because I feel like they have like that mentality that I have. And a lot of the folks, like most of my friends and stuff, I mean, I hate hanging out with them because they just don't think like the way that I do. And it sort of brings you down when you hear things that everybody disagrees on. You feel like you're doing the wrong thing, but when it's not, they're just falling into that system. You know, so I do not care, honestly. But again, dating older guys, it's awesome. For me, I feel like I can have conversations like this. I can get deep with a person. I can actually talk. But I mean, there's some faults in it too.
Just to bear a little bit here, I've dated both ways, 16 years older and 18 years younger. It's just
I don't think I could date anybody like 18 years younger than me.
But
well,
why
I
why
didn't
does
know
it
she was
matter?
18
But
years
it's
younger
not
than me
just a
because she
number.
seemed older. She seemed more mature than that age. Um, Age is just a number. It's
Yeah.
more about a person's intellectual development for me.
Yeah,
So,
and honestly, to be honest with everybody, okay, I've dated guys my age. Um, they're just not on the same level as me, and so when I go to talk to older guys, they seem to have their life put together, and we're on the same page already. When they're older,
Oh, and
what is wrong with that?
Acidana, you're so true. I admit I'm immature.
Men
Yeah,
are so
man.
mature. You have no idea.
I guess I don't have. The other thing is I'm a really wrong person to ask because just like how I was raised and stuff, like I was like 17 with like a 40-year-old guy, and like my family was okay with that. So I kind of have a like was raised kind of messed up like that.
Yeah. Hello, Nora. And oh, never mind. I lost that
No,
train of
what,
thought. It
Grumpy?
got derailed. No, it got derailed at the station. I can't think of what I was saying. Oh. Nope, I can't remember.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. And they say all Satanists wear black.
What are you doing, Dreddy?
I'm just listening to the conversation, dwelling on the topic, I suppose. I mean, for me, like, I mean, yeah, you could say age is just a number and everything like that, and that's true. But I mean, obviously, we're looking for intellectual capabilities and things like that. For me, if I'm gonna be with someone, I'm a very self-reflective, self-questioning person. I mean, I don't really tend to live in the moment maybe as much as I should. I mean, I think about the past and the future and consequences. I think very logically, especially about myself. And I guess that would be the type of person that I would want to be with too. And I think I struggle dealing with the same things that Lil Patty Cake is describing
Do you
as
tend
well.
to gravitate towards younger women than you or older women than you?
I mean, I don't mind if you're younger, but yeah, I mean, definitely the same age or older. I've had better luck with. I'm more comfortable with. I like having those deep conversations too. You know what I'm saying? Just more life experience. I feel like I've been through a lot for my age. Um, people younger than me, I mean, they might have big hearts and that's fine. But as far as shared life experiences, like Lil Pat Cake was saying, she said that she hasn't experienced a lot of loss in her life. I mean, I would want to be around somebody that could understand that because I have. So probably, same age or older for me. I mean, I'm not worried about it. All through high school, I mean, when I was a freshman, I was dating seniors, and they were taller than me too. I didn't really care. Um, I mean, it's been both ways, but yeah, I mean, usually I've dated a few women that are younger than me by 5 or 6 years or so, and even that just little bit of divide for me personally just doesn't usually yield very good results. So, but that might be different for other people. So, excuse me.
Well, let's see.
I become very picky, and I think that's okay.
It is okay. There's 7 billion
Right.
people in the world. You know what I mean? You can be picky.
Yeah, I just don't want to settle. Like I felt like I've always settled. Like I've never been with someone that I felt like that I wasn't like settling in some way, and that sounds bad, but I just feel like that. There was things that I didn't like or things that connection. Like I always felt like there was a lack of common ground and a lack of connection, and I just don't want to settle like that anymore. It never ends good and it's not pleasant.
Yeah, I hear you. Relationships are very tricky. I think I mean, when we start out, we were talking about this the other day about like how religion keeps you from experiences. I think that in order to find a good relationship, you need to have been in a few relationships, to know what works and what doesn't work and how you get along with different types of people. What you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to put up with can be just as powerful as what you're willing to put up with. So yeah, it doesn't make you a hussy or a floozy or whatever appropriate word you want to use since we're on TikTok, but yeah, date around a little bit and figure out what works for you because everybody's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's just like it's always been a matter of like I've always been different, and I realized I don't have to be like that. Like it's always been like different music, different like views on life. Like everything has been so different, and I just like settled. And it sucks not to. It sucks to even the small things about like always having to listen to crap music, and they never want to listen to what you want to listen to because it's so different. Or watching stupid movies or talking about stupid crap. I do not care about NASCAR. For example, like
Here you go. I
I don't.
personally,
I've
this
always
might be
settled.
picky, but I will not date a girl if she constantly listens to country music. I can't fucking do it.
Ugh, I
I'm
can't
not
stand
gonna
country
do it.
music. It's
Like, I don't
disgusting.
care. I
I've
hate it.
dated
But
guys
like,
that love country music, and I want it. I get. It makes me angry to listen to it.
me too.
But
It
I
does.
don't
It
want
puts me in a bad
to.
mood. Yeah.
I think we're going to take this into the after show part of this. So just give me 1 second here and we'll continue to party on. And we're not going to do anything and just keep this live rolling.
Sorry, Grumpy.
No, we've been going for quite some time. I just want to take care of one little. So thanks for coming to midnight in Grumps Grotto. We'll be back next week with another topic. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but we will do this again soon. I can, or I can edit things out. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, but I should put up a big warning to everybody and have my counterpart in here put in something in every once in a while. Remember, this is a live stream on both TikTok and a podcast. So I'm just trying to create content out of things because I don't have the gumption to do it on my own, and I can't seem to get a co-host. So, yeah.